Good morning, it's today again. Welcome back to Joseph's Reserves. I'm Joseph, and I store 20% of my income in the form of rare coins and precious metals. As silver creeps back up to $100 and gold starts to approach that $5,000 mark again, a lot of stackers are thinking about cashing in on their precious metals holdings. But there's a bit of confusion around the 1099B and the possibility of a limit to how much you're allowed to sell without some extra documentation. So today we're going to get into what the actual requirements are. Before we get into the video, I want to say congratulations to Silver Serpents. He finally, after a long streak of getting second place, got first place in my comment section. He was the first to get to my last video. So if you don't know of Silver Serpents, definitely go check out his channel. And again, congratulations, buddy. Alright, so today I'm going to do my best to explain everything that actually defines whether or not a 1099B form is required at the sale of specific precious metals. There's a lot of confusion around this space about specific number of coins or a specific dollar amount. Let me start by saying that it is not $10,000. What you're thinking of is on the buy side called the 8300 form. So go ahead and do some research on that form on your own, or look at some of my other videos talking about the 8300, about the $10,000 buying limit. But today we're talking about the sales side, which does not have a $10,000 limit. The limit is much higher than that. It's actually defined by the specific precious metals that you're selling. So let's get into what the actual documents say. So when we pull up the 1099B instructions, one of the first things that I noticed is who actually files this paperwork. This paperwork is filed by a broker or barter exchange. So that means that whoever you're selling the metals to is responsible to filing this paperwork. If they choose to not file it, that goes against them, not you. You're not the one who is willing or not willing to file it. It is the business or business owner or anyone who is purchasing this metals from you. They're also not required to tell you that the information they're gathering is for the purpose of filing this paperwork. So they could easily just ask you things that would go on the paperwork without specifying that that's why they need the information, and they might be filing this without even directly telling you. However, the IRS will mail you a copy, so you will find out then. A good coin shop or good broker or barter exchange will definitely tell you that this is why they're collecting the information, so do with that information what you will. As we continue down the instructions for this 1099B, we'll get to a paragraph titled Sale of Precious Metals. You'll see that at the sale of a precious metal in any form for which the Commodities Futures Trading Commission has not approved trading by regulated futures contract is non-reportable. Also, any sale that is of the right form but not the right quantity by weight or number that is less than the minimum required quantity is also not reportable. So now that immediately begs the question, what is the minimum form and quantity that satisfies one of these contracts? And well, that's the part that takes a whole lot of digging. But don't worry, I did the digging for you. On the Commodity Futures Trading Commission's website, we'll find the Commodity Exchange Act, where they publicize how they're going to regulate these contracts. We'll eventually find Title 17, Chapter 1, Part 40, that states a designated contract market or swap execution facility may list or facilitate trading in any swap or number of swaps based on the excluded commodity. It goes on, but basically this just says that the actual exchange will regulate how much makes up their contract, and then the Commodity Futures Trading Commission will either approve or deny that specific contract. So all of this to say, we got to look somewhere else. This leads us to the CME group. This is the commodity exchange through the COMEX. And since the CFTC only has 10 days to approve the futures contracts, any active futures contract will likely have been approved and regulated by the CFTC. So the current CME group contracts specify that for gold, it is 100 troy ounces, either one 100 troy ounce bar or three 1 kilogram bars. For silver, it's going to be 5,000 ounces in exclusively five 1,000 ounce bars. For platinum, we're talking about 50 troy ounces with no individual piece weighing less than 10 ounces. And for palladium, that is 100 troy ounces of palladium with no individual piece weighing less than 10 troy ounces. So if you, like many of us, are not stacking 10 troy ounce bars of platinum and palladium, or 1,000 ounce bars of silver, or 1 kilo or 100 ounce bars of gold, you really have nothing to worry about. Notice that none of these futures contracts said anything about 25 ounces of maples or Krugerrands. Nothing ever said anything about a specific face value of junk silver. Those futures contracts no longer exist. This is the most up-to-date, as of January 2026, futures contracts that now apply to the 1099B form. I will add that this 1099B form does not start a taxable event. All it does is notify the IRS that you have sold precious metals. The capital gains portion of this is still upon you to volunteer the information that what you have purchased this metal and what you sold this metal at. You're still required to file paperwork for your capital gains and or losses. Speaking of capital gains, the actual verbiage here is that precious metals are considered a collectible, which are taxed at a 28% maximum on the long-term scale. So on the short-term capital gains, they're taxed like regular income until it is held for longer than a year. Then it's regular income up to that 28% bracket, because 28 is the maximum, not the minimum. It's not that all capital gains tax on precious metals or collectibles is automatically at 28%. It's at your regular income until you get to 28% as the maximum. But that's a topic for a slightly different video that I might get to in the future. Just know that I am not a financial advisor or a CPA. I'm not offering any financial or legal advice. And if I am to become a financial advisor in the future, just you being a viewer does not make me your financial advisor. So keep that in mind when taking anything I just said into your own personal finances. Please continue doing your own research and find these actual documents for yourself so you can read them and be familiar. If you own a local coin shop or some sort of exchange where you're buying and selling these precious metals, I encourage you to please read these documents yourself as well so that you can be up to date with all of the requirements, since you are the one that will be filing this paperwork. Go ahead and go check out my website, josephsreserves.com, where I have some merchandise, coffee, and zipper bags for sale. Every morning is a gift. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, today. It's today again is a reminder that God has given us this day once more, with new mercy, new opportunity, and real work to be done. It's the moment to show up, build good habits, and take hold of what's been placed in front of us. Whether it's putting in the work, staying disciplined, saving consistently, or simply choosing to be faithful in the small things, today is where it starts. Encourage one another daily as long as it is called today. Hebrews 3:13. So, take a breath, take a sip, and let's get to work. It's today again. You can now write me at Joseph's Reserves, 10160 Highway 242, Suite 800, number 401 in Conroe, Texas, zip code 77385. Make sure to include your information so I can write you back. If you like today's video, go down and hit the thumbs up. Go into the comment section for any questions or comments around this topic. Share the video to anyone you think may like it or needs to hear it. Subscribe if you haven't already, but most of all, thank you so much for watching. And just remember, every ounce adds up, so no matter how small, just keep stacking.